Welcome, everybody. I'll just give you a minute to get in. Welcome to the webinar. I'm going to get started. Okay, welcome to the Wednesday webinar. My name is Laureen Zarba, Technology Training Manager here at LIBOR. And I'm sure a lot of you know who I am because I've been teaching this for a very long time. In January of this year, Instanet changed their signing, the Authentisign. They changed it, so I had put out. We did a Wednesday webinar on that, and that was played last week, the replay. So this week you got me live, so I can be here to answer your questions. So the way the webinars work is that I can't see you. I can't hear you. You're automatically muted. You can type in the chat to ask me questions, and this is recorded. Isn't that great? We can't record the CE classes, but we can record the webinars. And the webinar recording in a couple of days will be posted in LI Realtor. And I'm also going to put it into the Stratus Support Center, this updated one. So this way you can see it again, or in case somebody missed something or missed the webinar altogether, you can check out the recordings. So that's the beauty of that. So I put a little PowerPoint slide together just to show you what we're going to go over. It's called Learn the New Authentisign Electronic Signing and Enhancements Using Instanet. I used enhancements because I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you some things I don't usually get to show you, like creating templates, okay? In Instanet, a template is a group of forms for a particular type of property transactions. So maybe if you're selling a house, or if you're working with a buyer, whatever it is. So I'm going to do that. We're going to do team sharing. We're going to upload a residential property data form into Stratus Add Edit, which we used to have. And then when we merged to become one key, we lost it for a while, but now we have it again. So that's exciting. And then I'm going to create a transaction using the template and have the whole signing process put together. I've been using this for a while. Some of you out there who are familiar with the program might have their own way of creating transactions and signatures, and that's fine, but I found a way that works for me. And for anybody that's new, Instanet, which is really called Transaction Desk, is a member benefit. It's free for you to use. You have free MLS forms, you have free electronic signatures, and thirdly, you have unlimited storage, which a lot of the times, a lot of the agents don't realize that you can upload documents in here into the program. So we have a lot to cover, and it's really important information to make your business work better, especially during this pandemic. It's like you had to have this to even continue working. So I'm going to go into Stratus. Let me just see where, here we are. You should be able to see my screen. Okay. I can see the number now, and I can see the chat. Hopefully you can see my screen. I think you can. And I'm starting in Stratus. We should be using Chrome, just so you know. I'm always saying that, and all the programs that link in here, like Instanet, that you're here to watch, works best on Chrome as well. So even on my MacBook, I use Chrome and not Safari for Instanet. So over on the right in the one key MLS links is Instanet.
Laureen, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We are seeing your PowerPoint presentation. We're not seeing your Stratus.
Oh, thank you. I know that happens sometimes. I don't know why. You can see it now, Evan?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay. Okay, every time I use a PowerPoint, that seems to happen to me. I must be doing something not right. Anyway, you should be able to see my screen now. And Instanet can be located on the one key MLS links. Here's Instanet, or under resources, you'll see at the tippy top, either place. You do have your own account here. You don't have to create an account. It's already been created for you. All you got to do is go in. It will do a pre-flight check to make sure you're using the right browsers and things like that. And it takes you here. So this is Agent Dashboard. At the bottom left corner of my screen, I see my name down there. So there's your name. if I have any brokers out there, you may have a broker dashboard here. You want to switch it over. You'll have these two faces here. That's what the brokers have, and you can switch it to a broker dashboard. But for right now, we're doing agent dashboard on here. So here we are in Instanet transaction desk. And just, you're really here for the signatures, but I just kind of want to give you a little overview. The agent dashboard tells me some of the things that have been happening. Okay, that seems to be the new, like in Collab, we have news feed and things like that. There's just, even if I forgot where the form was, and we have everything in here with the date. So I did a lot today, as a matter of fact. So this little dashboard over here pulls up anything that I've been working on. The little green hamburger opens up the sidebar, and we're going to go through a few things. I know I have new agents, and I know I have experienced agents out there. I always get a mix in there, so I kind of like to show a couple things and then show some new things as we go. Our transactions are really the most important part of this program. So that's an important part of your business. The more transactions that you make, the more money you make, right? But this is a virtual storage area for your transactions. So this is where we're going to start after I kind of walk through a couple things here. So we'll go back to this. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm a teacher, okay? So I'm not selling houses. You'll see my things are all fakes, but yours are going to be real unless you're practicing. So again, it's free. So if you're practicing with electronic signatures, you're practicing, especially with those, any of these, it's all free for you to use. So the pen over here is your signing. Let's just talk about this for a second. I call it my signing library. This is called Authentisign, not DocuSign. This is free, comes with this program. DocuSign would cost you money. Some of the other brokerages out there have their own signings. This is what we use in here. So when anything gets signed, it goes in here, okay? And whenever you can log in, you have access to this in case you need to email it, put it in the cloud, download it, print it. I just did a couple of them already. If we just take a peek at one that's completed. If you've been working on there and you're going, Maureen, where did all my old stuff go? It's called Classic. So here, if I click on Classic, I kind of like these shapes, but they don't have them anymore. I do have all the old signings in here, and this is the new Authentisign. So you have them there just in case you were wondering where all that went. I did a fair housing form here. Let me just show you. This one was already signed. So I'm in the pen, just showing you what it looks like. And I will show you how to do it, not to worry. This one was already signed today, as a matter of fact. So if I wanted to view the signed PDF, I got that. I could download it. Here's the signatures and the dates and the time on there. Also, you get, and this is really important, when we use this feature, you get a viewed, it's really a certificate of authenticity that they have signed it. It's like a legal document that protects you from them saying they didn't sign it. So every form, every individual form has this Authentisign certificate, and it will have the record of the computer and the date and all of that in there. And this is new. We can copy to the cloud. So if you're using Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive, you can bring your signed contracts and forms into that. So we're going to get into that. This is where they're all stored. Forms, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I did this in a beginner Instanet class called Digital Signatures Level 1 and 2. But here is all your MLS, most of your MLS forms are in here for free that you can type on. If you didn't know that, they're all in here. If you wanted to pull up a form, I'll just show you how to pull up a form anyway. Let's do the fair housing one. This is a new form, the sellers, right? Sellers side fair housing. These numbers are things that I stored. I would just pull up this. If I need a brand new one, I press the plus, okay? And create a new standalone form. That's how you do everything in here. You press the plus for new. Transaction plus, signing plus, forms plus. And in here you can fill them out. Everything's fillable. Make sure that you save everything. There is a pen here. I'm not going to go into individual forms in this class. I kind of want to show you how to package them up so that you really can just have that there all the time. But you can go out here. I do want to show this, and I think I'll do this after, but this form here is the residential property data form. And if you remember years ago, if you've been an agent for a while, it was blue with the boxes. It was 2 pages unless you printed it on legal. That's done. We now have, I think it's 6 pages. Let's just look at this. I have one that I already typed in here. Well, the reason I'm bringing this up is that we now have upload to Stratus back. Isn't that great? So when you're filling out this form, and the old form was like, didn't look anything like this, because we have a lot of data in here, and this is really great to help you put your listing in. But if you fill this out with all the asterisks, see, you have asterisks here. These are must enter fields in a listing. You do have upload to listing here, which will take all this data and put it into edit in Stratus as a draft, so that when you're ready to do a listing, you just grab the draft and then you can create the listing, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do that with you, but I'm going to wait till later. So I'm going to upload the listing. If you're not creating, don't say, oh my gosh, did I list this house? No, you didn't. You're not doing a price range listing, and I press upload. So all the data from this form goes into Stratus and edit. Don't think you did anything wrong with all this red here. That just means that the open house information is not going. Okay, kind of scares you. Did I do something wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. I have a worksheet number here. So toward the end of the webinar, we'll go into Stratus and I'll show you where it went and how to convert it to a listing. Very great. I was wondering when we were going to get it. You might be saying, Maureen, where did you get that again? I know how people think. I got it in here. Let's look down here. It's called the data section, property data section. There's one for land, upload version. There is one for rental, upload version. The residential one is what I just did right here, okay? And that's right there. So you have all of those. So this form part that I'm in right now is where you would go like individual forms. So we're going to concentrate on packaging them up in a transaction and sending them all out at once. Sounds good? All right, I'm moving down to this part. I don't know if you're going to use this, but this used to be called DocBox. Now it's called Documents. If there's certain things that you use, maybe you have a company form that has to be signed that's not in here, and you use it all the time, you can kind of store it in here. Really, that's all that's for. That's broker tools. You don't have this. I don't use this. This is the contacts. It's not linked to Stratus contacts. It has their own contact. I did ask that a long time ago if it would link to Stratus. That would have been nice. Maybe the same attorneys you work with, the same inspectors you work with, the same investors you work with. You can put them into contacts with their email and information and pull it in quickly without having to look it up and then type it in and all of that. So that's where that is. Now we're moving down to settings because those enhancements that I talked about are going to be in here. These are more of an intermediate thing. But if you are a beginner at this program, make sure that you go into preferences and that you get in your email signature, okay, with all your contact information. Make sure you have that. Don't have to worry about that. If you change offices, double check. Make sure that you have your picture in here. And so here's my picture. It's always changing. I need a real professional headshot. Do not put it into this. I don't even want to talk about this. This is something we did years ago with faxing, and we didn't have electronic signatures, so it was different. But if you put your photo here in this big box, your picture is going to come out this big when they open the email. We don't want that, right? So you just want it here. There's no save button, so if you're looking for it, forget it. Not here. So that's in here. Signature, picture. Okay. I don't see any chat questions. You guys have any questions in the chat? I'm looking, I don't see any. Not a one. I guess I'm answering, oh. Somebody just said, where can we find the recordings? Okay, you're gonna find the recordings in the LI Realtor site. Actually, the first page, I just go down and click on it, it will be there. However, I'm also gonna put it into the Strata Support Center, the light bulb, so that you can grab it from there. Give me a couple days though to do that. But it's nice that it's being recorded, right? So that you can watch it again. Oh, I'm not talking about that. All right, let's go. This link application, no, we're not talking about that either. That's if you were using the app. There's a transaction desk app for this. However, unless they change things, you can't use it as if you're using it, have your Android phone. So that's why I want to talk about it. It has to be like an iPhone. I asked them that years ago. Why don't Android users? Well, there's not that many of them. I said, yes, there are plenty of them. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. We're going to go down to templates. Let's click on transaction templates. All right, what is this? Let me explain this first. When we do a transaction in here, okay, we put in the property address, we put in the contact information. We have to add the forms. But wouldn't it be nice if we could just click on template and add a package of forms? So that's what this is going to be, a package of forms. It's called a template in here. And I already have one, but I'm going to do another one. I'm going to click on, and if I wanted to delete this one, the little snowman, that's what I call him, the skinny snowman on the right, that deletes, in case you ever need to delete something. You'll probably have nothing here. You press the plus. Remember, you do that for everything. If you are a broker, I'm in as a broker, I'm not a broker, but just for training purposes, I can create a template for the whole office. So I have a lot of new agents out there and I really want to create a template for the office. You could do it and they could pull that in. So that's something a lot of some of the brokers who know how to do it. The rest of us is just doing it for yourself. Yours won't say person. I don't even think you have this up here. It's just going to say name. So we're going to name the template and we're going to name it residential listing packet. You can name it whatever you want, but that's what I'm naming it. Okay. And I match it up with type. So it's not commercial, it's not condo, it is a residential, it's not a lease listing. Okay. So this is just the name, but this is the type. And you could put a little description in here, whatever, or skip it. Okay, so we're creating it. Here we go. I don't use checklists in here. I don't know if anybody does, so I'm skipping that. Maybe I work with the same person in every transaction. I could add them in here. If I wanted to, I could add maybe an attorney or something that's always there automatically. I'm not going to do it, but you can do it. This next part, now, I have documents and forms. Now, what's the difference between documents and forms? I always thought that was the same thing. Well, in this environment, in this program, forms are MLS forms and documents are other things, okay? So maybe, and this is how I explain these things, is that I'm a big folder person. Let's just make believe this is my folder, okay? And I always name my folder. I have tons of folders. So maybe if you are doing a residential, if you're doing a listing, maybe you have a folder filled with all the forms that have to be used. Maybe you're a new agent, and it's all set up for you already. It's like that. I might put in maybe the lead paint disclosure booklet or something, you know, because I have to give it to the homeowner, so it just loads in or something. You would have to download it. Or when we were in the COVID situation, where everybody was in lockdown and you're still trying to do your business, the COVID form, the NYSAR COVID form, I wanted that to be in. Anything that's not the MLS form, you understand, would be there automatically. Now, I'm not going to do it. I'll pull in the COVID form later just to show you as an example. We really want to use forms. okay? And we want to use MLS forms. Now, this is a residential listing packet. I'm gonna put the bare bones in, you probably would put more in. Don't put lease documents in here, this is residential, that would be a whole nother template, right? On the agency disclosure, we click the little circles, the lead paint disclosure, you might put property condition. If you don't, you can always add it later, okay? These are the ones that are gonna be there automatically. And you don't want to get it too complicated by putting too many forms in. I'm gonna put in the fair housing form for the seller. The exclusive right to sell, which is your contract. There are two of them. There is a legal size one, an 8.5 by 11. So, most of us don't have legal paper. So I do 8.5 by 11, 3 pages. And if you want to pull in the residential property data form that I just showed you with the upload version, which I'm going to, it's that one, okay? The basket has 5, and I add them. I could even open them up and put my name at the bottom, so I wouldn't have to type my name in again, especially I think it's the lead paint disclosure one my name is on, and fair housing one I have to put my name and office in. So you could open them up here. Yeah, let me do one of them for you. Actually, your name's going to go on all of these anyway in the transaction, so not to worry. Let me make sure I got the right one. So I got the agency disclosure for buyer and seller, lead paint disclosure, fair housing, exclusive right to sell, and residential. Okay. Now I'm going to show you this team sharing thing, but I'm not doing it here. So this is my template. Of course, there's no save. Drives me crazy. Where's the save? So I would just go out and go back in and check it. So if you missed what I just did and how I started the template, I'm in settings and I'm in teams sharing. Okay, over here, team sharing. Let me look at my, let me look over here. Does anybody have a question? Okay, we're looking good. Team sharing. Excuse me, template. And the template should be there. Here it is. So it is in there. Team sharing is the next thing. I don't know if you're going to use this, but I do get asked this question a lot. For instance, we do a lot of transactions. You could be really busy and there might be one transaction you work with a partner, okay? And what it does, if we share it with them, when they log into Instanet, they'll see the same transaction as you. They don't have to log in as you. So we would do, somebody just asked me that question. So this is what they would have done. They could share it with their broker, or they could share it with their admin, or they could share it with whomever they need to, who needs to see. You're not sharing everything. Okay, I'll show you how to share. But you need to create the team first. So you go into team sharing. Oh gosh, I got a lot of team sharing going. This was the pandemic. Everybody was in a panic because we had to do electronic signatures, like lots of them. You're not going to have this, okay? So let's say I want to do, I'm gonna put numbers at the front so it goes up at the top of this group. 1, 2, 3, sharing group. And then I say, everybody in your office that has logged into Instanet will come up. So now you can tell who never logged into Instanet. A lot of people in my group didn't log into Instanet. Oh, actually, there's more down here. So I'll just say I'm going to share with Dawn. It's going to be, I'll just share with Dawn, okay? I could add more than one, but she's the only one I want to share with. And she's going to get full rights if you want, but you can change the rights here. You can have read only in here, write only, full rights, and save. So that's called team sharing. I got it in settings. I'll show you how to share it later when we do the transaction. Remember, this is recorded, so you're going to be able to watch the recording because you're probably going to forget, but that's okay. I have a Q&A. What is the easiest way to add a document or form when we are attempting to have a set of forms signed by a buyer? What's the easiest way to add a document or form? I think I'm gonna answer that when I do the transaction. You let me know, okay? I usually answer most of the questions anyway. So I added those things and make sure I got everything that I wanted to show you in there. So that the 3 enhancements were templates, sharing, and uploading to Stratus. So let's go in, create a transaction using a template. And how do we sign all of this? So let's move on up to the house. So this is your transactions. Now think about it. Most, like I said, we're all paper people. Most of us are paper people, right? So you think about all the papers involved in the transactions or anything. I'm a teacher, so I got stuff everywhere. But wouldn't it be nice to have it in one place where you can, in case you lost something, you can put it in the transaction. So this is how it works. We're going to create a transaction together. Of course, it's going to be a fake one with fake people, but it's a practice. And you're going to press the add because that's how you do everything in this program to start new. You press the plus. So I'm glad they're consistent with that. We're going to call it virtual transaction for demo. That's you guys. Usually I have my class skipping this, especially if they're beginners, but now we've created a template. I should have mentioned, I think I did, you would have templates for different property types. I only did a residential one, but you might have another one for a different type of sales, right? Different groups of forms. So when I hit the down arrow, I'd have all my templates here. And like I said, if you're the admin or a broker, you could set it up with the office and make their life a lot easier. They would just pick this listing packet. And that will give me the forms. If I forget that, I'm not going to get the forms and I'll add them in. This I'm probably not going to show you, but you can import from Stratus into a transaction if you already have a listing out there and you want to just pull in the data and have some things stored. You could do that. We're not doing that for this demo. Here's your listing. I'm the listing agent. If the selling agent, both, pick that. It knows who you are. You don't have to tell it. And then you press create. Okay, so now I'm using a wizard. I was never really crazy about wizards, but in this program, I think we need a wizard. Kind of guide us through. It's like next or back or whatever. And you have 5 pages. I call them pages. They call them steps. You can upload a picture of the house, which, we didn't always have this. So I think it's kind of cool to do because you might forget this transaction. Oh yeah, I remember the house. Or maybe you could put, the client's picture in there. That'd be interesting. So in here, you would put in the property address. So I'm going to just put in, I'm using something really simple so I can do this fast. Main Street, Babylon, Suffolk County, New York, zip code, I don't know, making it up. You don't have to fill this all in. It's not a listing. Use it for whatever you want. Listing price is here. I do like putting that in. I like putting $1 million in. It just makes me feel good. Million. Okay, $1 million. No commas, so be careful. It's not a listing. You're just documenting your information. But what you put in on this first page goes to the forms. Okay, so make sure you type things correctly. Love that it does that. Saves you so much time. If you save and exit, because we really want to do that, it will take you out of the wizard. And then you're going to go, oh my gosh, what do I do now? But there is a wizard feature that on the right side, I don't know if you can see it, it will bring you back to this next thing until you're familiar. I like using the wizard. It kind of guides me. See, I'm on step 2. This is where you can put in your listing day, expire date, all that stuff, but maybe you're not sure yet, skip it. Okay, you don't have to put it in yet. I'm in here automatically. My office is in here automatically. Okay, I'm not a broker, but that's what it says. This is where I put the signers in, okay? I discovered this over the years because it just seemed to be easier with the signing process. Of course, you could put your attorneys and other people in here, but that won't sign, but put your signers in here. I have 2 signers, 2 sellers, they're gonna sign. If I had them in the contacts, it was really great, but I don't. I'm gonna do a new one. And I did this on purpose so that you can see how they pick their fonts out and all that other stuff. They are a seller, and who am I using today? Something really easy. Fred Johnson. Fred Johnson, email. I use mine because I'm practicing, but this definitely won't be yours. Okay, all good here. Fred Johnson, he's the seller, but I have another seller, so I need to put them in separate. The plus, we have a new transaction contact. This seller part, me identifying them, a buyer or seller, is going to be important to save time in electronic signature part, because they'll put the signing blocks in the right place for me. Which I really think is great. This one's Mary Johnson, I think. Yeah. Since I'm making these names up, Johnson. Email. Now, if you have a couple, 3 people that are signing, they can all use separate emails, or a couple could use the same email. It works both ways. I want to show you the couple using the same email because it's a little different when they changed over to this new Authentisign. It comes into the same email, but separate. It's weird, but I'll show you what I mean, because I was like, where's the second email? And there won't be a second email if they're using the same email. All right, Mary Johnson and then Fred Johnson. Okay, I got them. We good? Just looking. Okay, we're good. All right, so they're all in here. I can add anybody else I want, but these are my signers, but I put them in the contact part. This way I don't have to do it later. Next. Oh my gosh, the forms are here automatically because I use the template, okay? That part at the beginning, and I'll show you that again in case you missed that. This is the beauty of using the template, is the forms are already here. I don't have to figure it out. But if you go, oh geez, I'm using the coming soon, now they're not ready to show the house or whatever, okay, whatever, or I need a property condition form. You just go in to the plus, one key, and then you would pick whatever you're missing, okay? Because every transaction might be a little different. If I needed the coming soon form, don't ask me to explain it right now. There it is. See, it added it. But I don't want it anymore. Remember that skinny snowman I was talking about? He's over here. I can delete that one. I don't want that one. So it's really easy to pull something in or take something out. Any questions on that part? I'm looking at the chat, so if you have a question, let me know, okay? All right, no questions, which is good. I guess I'm answering more. All right, the next one. What is this? All right, documents is the unlimited storage part. So you can upload your entire folder of documents in here. All of it, every single thing you want to keep track of can be in here. Now, if you're asking me how to do it, there's a bunch of ways. Me personally, I would use my scanner. I use my scanner all the time. I have a scanner on my printer now, but I have a regular scanner. I scan it to your computer, upload all this stuff, and then it will be in here automatically. All right, I have a question. You can't hear me? Can everybody hear me? Can someone just say yes or something in the chat? I hear you. Okay, thank you, Michelle. I don't know what happened to your sound into. Here's the question. You can create a template for each type of transaction, residential sale or residential listing, commercial, with all the forms specific to that type of sale or rental. Yes, Moses, yes. You can do that as a template, and you would create them separately with different names. So you can have multiple packages, and being a broker, you could share that with your whole entire office, because you'll have it'll say personal office, and then they could just have the templates automatically. So that's the beauty of that. I've seen agents who have had their broker created like 10 different templates for them to use depending on what they were working in. So that really is an awesome thing. Anybody else have a question? I don't know why my bar keeps going away. There it is. All right. All right, documents, like I said, could be for anything you want to upload in here. Worked with a broker years ago who, she actually taught this class. Maria Speck, I don't know if anybody remembers her, but she was an active broker. She bought a lot of properties too. She uploaded everything in here. She even uploaded a handwritten sign-in for her open houses. Okay, that was in here. So she had all kinds of stuff that she put in here. We didn't have electronic signatures yet, but you can use it for that too. What if I needed something signed here that wasn't in here, wasn't an MLS form, like the COVID form, and I'm using that as my example, okay? We had to download it, and then it's not fillable. So I'm gonna pull that one in just to demo how you do it. So you click on this blue bar, it takes me to my computer. I put things on my desktop and it's right at the top. Love when it's at the top, they don't have to worry about finding it. So there it is, okay? If I open it right now, see, I can't type on it. But this is the reason I'm using this, in case you ever need something signed. During the pandemic, I'll tell you, I pulled in so many things that weren't fillable, like a lease. Some other forms for the company I pulled in that we use, and I'll show you how we can use this form too, as an example. So since I'm in a wizard, I can go back, next. But I'm done with this part, but I'm not done yet. I created the transaction. Okay, remember it's in the house here. So the next thing that you should do is fill out the forms. You're not sending forms out that are half blank to everybody. So you will have a box that says forms. You may not have a box that says Authentisign. If you're missing, yeah, I have a minute to show you this part. If you're missing this, no big deal. You can just use signings over here to do signings. But this little lock here unlocks widgets. I always say, how are they going to know that? Unless I told, I mean, how it, so if Authentisign was missing from here, I could drag it down. So use the green one. I had something in there that I wasn't using. I X'd it out. I think it was templates or something. I clicked on my widgets, go over to the green ones, and I dragged Authentisign down, which should really be a pen, I think. I like consistency. All right, now I have it. But if you don't have it, you didn't get that part, just go over to signings here. So let's fill out the forms first. Now, I'm not actually going to fill them all out. We don't have time, but I'm going to go through the system. Always have to have a system. Let's look at the lead paint first. The reason I'm doing that, I want to show you how much is filled out already. Look at that. Okay, top part, didn't do it, came from that first step in the transaction. Now this part, depending upon whether you type, if you check these ahead of time, or you can use radio buttons, I'm going to show you that then the seller would select the appropriate one. There's an option here. But look, I got Fred and Mary down there automatically. I'm down there. I don't even have to do a thing. I just did these check marks, and I'm going to do a file, save, save. So remember, everyone knows file, save. So don't file, save, save. If you save it as a PDF, it's going to go onto your local computer, and you're not going to be able to do the signing thing we're doing. All right, I got 3 questions here. I noticed that when I add a form outside of using the template, there is a separate screen that pops up and prompts me to add forms to the transaction. The ability to add forms appears on the page where we are labeling. If you're thinking about the old Authentisign, it's not that confusing anymore. It's easier. Somebody else lost sound too? It's not me, right? You all can hear me? I don't know. Okay, if you can't hear me, just type it in the chat or the Q&A or something. Now, here's the thing. I have other forms to sign. This always confused me about this program, and I found a way. like, if I look to the left, why aren't I in the house anymore? I'm somewhere else. It took me somewhere else. But if you use this button, save and exit here, which I always felt like, seems like I'm leaving the program, but I'm leaving this part to go back where I was. It's like a back button in a way. You're gonna click on save and exit, which will take you back, okay? Oh, you're welcome, Moses. Great. Anytime you need my help, let me know. So now I'm back. So then I would go to the next form. I'm not filling out that residential one. I need like a whole day. Exclusive right to sell. This is my contract. You want to fill that one? Look at the top part, all filled out. Love that. Put your commissions in, whatever else you need to put in here. And then everybody's name is here. Save and exit. You follow, this is the system I do. I open them up, fill them out, save them, save and exit. So I'll make believe I did all of them. You good with that? Okay. Once they're all filled out, or maybe you're, a lot of agents use this to prepare, have them filled out. I'm ready to go. And then, when they actually get the listing, they're ready. They can send it right there. Or you can use it also while you're maybe at a listing presentation. You can just pull up all the forms, send it there and help them sign it. Sometimes you can do that as well. Most of us will probably just send them out remotely. All right, so that's the part you're here for. So let's do the signing. So we're going to go, I'm going to use this side, but if I was down here, I'd use the plus. I'm going to go to signings and press the plus again. There's nothing there, so you have to create the signing. Give the signing a name. This is what I would recommend. Name the signing the same as the transaction. So this way we can find it when we need it. And I call this virtual transaction. I spelled virtual wrong. Transaction or demo or whatever I called it, but I try to keep it the same. I found that was helpful. I love this part. Okay, so here's my new signing, and this is the way it looks. There's no number. I kind of love this. I work from the left to the right. Doesn't really matter over here. Here's my buttons, and you're going to be using the first three. You're going to use signers, docs, and tools. That's the ones you're going to use. So since I worked this out through the transaction, when I add a document or form, they all come up. So I pick what I want them to sign. They're automatically there, and the COVID form is there automatically, even though it's a document. So I'm going to add this one, this one, this one, this one. I'm going to leave the big one out, and the document, which is the NISAR form. And so I can demonstrate that. So here we have all our forms. They're one underneath each other. You cannot fix anything that you spelled wrong in here. However, the first version, last version of this wouldn't allow me really to, wasn't user friendly about getting back, but I could hit back and save it, fix things and come right back to where I left off. So that's an awesome thing. So here's my documents. If I want to change the order, because I want them to sign the contract first, I could drag it to the top, or I can change my numbers. If that's something that's important to you, you can do that. Now we want to put the signers in, okay? So these are the three buttons, most important. So here's my signers. If I have them in the contacts, that's great, which I don't. So now I got to type them in. Oh, actually, I do have them. Okay, I already have signers because I'm going to add the signers from the transaction. Got that. Because I put them in that contact part. Oh my goodness, there they are. So all of us are in here. I'm not going to sign it. I'll have them sign it because I want to show you something. But of course, you probably sign it. So they're in. That was the smoothness of the transaction. I put them in where that contact part was, where my name was. So I added them in automatically. Otherwise, you would put them in as new. So here's something that is advanced from the last version, is that excluding I don't know why the contract doesn't have the signing blocks here, but the rest of them, so you have signing blocks with the date. signing blocks, we have to fix that one, and so on. So I'll talk to you as I set this one up here, the no signing blocks. But over on the right is the tools. I think this is the coolest thing, is that you can, I love the drag and drop thing. So Fred Johnson doesn't have a signing block. So his name is showing. I'm just gonna drag, let's just put sign here, move the date over, move this up a little. And then I need to change it to Mary, okay? Mary has a different signing block. They have these different colors here, so we know this is Mary. Signing block. If I needed them to initial, I would just drag the initials off, right? One for Mary, one for Fred, like that. Now, if I'm playing like I am, I can just click on it and press delete on my keyboard and they'll go away, okay? If I want to know the time, which I think I do, when they signed it, I'm going to drag the time next to it. So I know a date and time they signed it, okay? I have a question. Are these forms all in one prepared listing transaction, or do you need to choose which forms you want? Now, if you missed the template part, you're gonna have to choose, Cheryl, on your own, okay? Otherwise, this is recorded, so you can just get the recording and see how to do the transaction part, okay? These are packaged already. All right, let me scroll down to the next one. Don't assume everything is set up right, because it's not always set up right. This one looks good. Lead paint's always floating around in the wrong place. I need to pull this down. I have to tell them about this. Here's a little bit of advice. Try not to get the signing blocks close to the edge. Give them some margin space, because if they're using their phone, which I have used to buy a condo years ago, time went by fast. I just was clicking away. And you can't get your finger on the signing because it's way over on the edge. So kind of give them some space. Whoopsie. Okay, this down here. Where's my date? Floating. Lead paint, you gotta kind of fix this thing up. Now, I probably will electronically sign this myself, since you have to sign the lead paint. But there are tools here. Let me click back on tools. There's a freehand here. Now, I don't have a touch screen. I'm using my mouse. It's not easy. But I could, do that. I could put my initial in and then click it again and try to do, like I said, it's not easy, especially with a mouse, but you could do that. All right, I'm scrolling down. I'm in the fair housing. Fair housing, just beautiful document. It just comes out so nice. I don't have to do a thing. All right, here we go. This is the example I wanted to show you with the COVID form because I can't type on it. So what do? Okay, I have two sellers. I can't type. I couldn't type their name. You do have signer fields. Now, if you have a small computer, you might have to scroll down to see them. Fred, just drag his full name over where it says print name, okay? And then drag the signing block over here. Move the date over. And then I need to change from Fred, click back on tools, to Mary. And I need the signer fields, because I couldn't type it. We need their name printed and the signing block here. Okay, keep that on there, keeping my eye on the time. This part down here is my name and office. So how do we do that? I'm not in here as a signer. So you can put a text box in, really critical for this, especially for a clause or addendum or something you're putting into a contract. This doesn't drag. Why, I don't know. But click it and then click. It'll put a little box. We can make it bigger. I'm going to put my name in here, Lorraine Zarba. And then I get this cool kind of font thing. So it's kind of small. I want my name bigger. This comes up automatically and I want it in bold. So I can click on bold to see. You can drag these if you need to, text boxes, move them around. And then I'm going to put another text box for my company. Okay. I'll put in LIBOR. And then that I'm going to make bigger. And these are little extra things, but as you play with this, you're gonna say, wow, this is really not that difficult, because you're getting all the tools in one place. So the rest of these, you can play around. There's some options where you can set defaults and stuff like that, but you want signers, documents, tools, okay, to check things out. So we're ready to go. Any questions before I go? I have another question. Oh yeah, I already answered your question. Anybody else? All right, moving on. You're gonna click next up here in the right-hand corner. Now this part here, I just want to explain something. The default is expiring in a month. This is a long time for these forms to be in somebody's inbox, which is, you know, with that, I always say that the identity theft things, people are fishing through your inboxes. You don't realize it, but they are. I probably would change this to just a few days. So this way the link expires and nobody can open it up. And I would have them, it used to be hourly, but now it's like one day. If they don't sign it, it's going to remind them. The system reminds them to sign it. And it works because I set myself up and I get reminders. You can also customize the invites. Otherwise, there's an invitation that goes out as the default, but you can customize that. And then we send it out and we wait. All right, so I am in the signing part of my house. It says it's sent. It will say completed now. We don't have like a ribbon we used to have. Here's something you can do. If I open up the signing, I can resend it to unsigned participants. You know what? I'm waiting. They haven't signed it. They're not answering the phone. I can just resend it. So you can do that. Here's something I discovered also. If there was something wrong with the form and I want to fix it, what do I do? Okay, I don't think we could do that before. This little box more here, reset. Oh my gosh, this is such an awesome feature. Takes me back in to the signing. You see, where I can fix it up because something was wrong or I missed something. As a matter of fact, I did miss something. I didn't put the owner's initials here. You think I did that on purpose, but I did. I didn't do that on purpose. So I got to go to the tools. I forgot. I actually did forget that, so it's a good thing I came back in here. I thought that used to come in. Be careful. I want them to initial that. And then I can go next and send it again. So these are awesome additions and features that were not available in the last Authentisign, because I guess they were listening and they put some features in there. Okay, I do have a few minutes and I'm going to answer questions. Yeah, I have a few right now, but I want to show you how that upload looks. How did we get documents to populate fields automatically? You mean forms, Rocco? The forms populate automatically from the first page of, I'll show you. Does documents each recipient at the same time or they sign? Oh, that's a really good question. My anonymous attendee asked if they get them at the same time, and they do get them at the same time now. But you can change it if you want somebody to sign it first. Now everybody gets it at the same time. Instead of one person gets it, they sign it, then the next person gets it and sign it. I came in late. If I sign off now, will I get the email start from the beginning? Lucy, you'll have to go get your own recording of this in LA Realtor. I give them a couple days. Okay. So when let me just open up the wizard just for a second, just to answer one of those questions. This first page that you fill out in the transaction, whatever you put in here goes to the forms automatically. Documents, however, are not the Mls forms. So that you have to kind of do on your own, like I did the COVID form. Never enough time. I want to show you what it looks like. Let me just go into my second. I should have this. I wasn't going to show you this, but I want to show you how they sign it. All right, I sent it to myself. Your signature is requested. Virtual transaction. Here I am with my picture because I put my picture in. Now the couple have they have the same email, but the signing is separate in the same email. We didn't have that before, so look for it. I always looking for another email in the same my Gmail account, but they're right one underneath each other. So start signing. Oh, because I reset it, so now he's not going to be able to sign that one. That's interesting. Never seen that before, so I probably got a new one in here. It didn't come in yet. All right, going back, I uploaded to Stratus. If you missed that, that was in the forms in the residential data section form, and I did the Stratus upload. If I go into Stratus, and I see your hand, I'm gonna answer your question. Marianne, where is it to have to go back and correct? It's in the right-hand corner. How do you share the documents with the team? Oh my gosh, I did forget that. All right, so how do you share the documents with the team? So I'm in my transaction. This little snowman says teams and share. Since I created the team, I don't want them to see everything, but maybe I want them to see certain transactions like this one. You click on that. I created one called share group, and I added them in, and then I press save. So whoever was in that share group, it was Dawn. If she logs into Instanet, she'll get this transaction. It works. I've shared it with people before, so that's awesome. Thank you for reminding me on that. Now I uploaded to Stratus the residential property data form, and this is something we used to have in Add Edit. So if I go to Add Edit, drafts, you'll see that it's here today. Today's the 27th. This is the draft I uploaded from that form. So make sure that you link to the public record because it's mandatory now. I don't know why they still have that other one in there, but okay. And then you press continue and a link. I think I put a fake address in that one, so this one's not gonna work. Oh no, I have a real address in there. I know, we're almost done with our time. So Suffolk. I think I put my address in, so let's just see. A lot of times people don't know how to link to the public record. Put the address of the house in. And then link with listing, it's not coming up, so maybe that's not it. It's coming up, here it is. I got it, submit. Link with listing. This will be in the recording. And then all the data from the form will be in there automatically, and I won't have to fill it out again. So I'm not going to create this, but that's how you do it. All right, I have to finish now. I have 2 minutes to answer some questions. And you had your hand up. Do you have a question? Put it. Or everybody's using the Q&A. So I answered her. How do you share the docs with the team? I answered that. The rest of you, if you're leaving, thank you so much for joining the webinar. I hope you learned a few things on this. Again, it's recorded and it'll be posted on the LI Realtor site. It'll also be in the support center. And it will give us a couple of days to have that available and start practicing. It is a free program for you to use, and you can just practice away until you get it. And then you're going to just love it. All right, you guys, the rest of you can see some people leaving already, but if you have questions, you can't unmute. You can just type in Q&A or chat, and I'll try to get to everybody. Where is the address for the email? I don't know what that means, Ann. I'm not sure what you mean. That we have, when you create the contact or the person that's signing, you have to put an email in. Can you at any time create a team as you're filling out the forms? I don't think so. I don't think you can create a team. Let me go in here. No, you have to have the team created already in settings. Okay, so you have to do that. So make sure you do it in settings. That's where you do templates too. What else did the question say here? Thank you. You're welcome. Anybody else? I think I got to everybody. All right, everybody, enjoy your day. I'll see you in some of the other classes and have a wonderful summer, what's left to it. Enjoy. Stay healthy.